Sounds like names by Kevin Hart.
This is bloody late night Coprolalia, your favorite podcast. Coprolalia, the podcast that says
Whoopie dee scoop, scoop dee dee whoop, whoop dee scoop dee poop, poop dee scoop dee whoop, whoopie dee scoop whoop poop, poop dee dee whoop scoop, poop, scoop dee dee whoop, whoop dee dee scoop, whoop dee dee scoop poop.
Wow.
So this is take 2 of episode 34. And I tell you what, yesterday's was a goddamn bloody nightmare. Didn't get anywhere with it, but there's a couple little snippy bitty witty itty titty bitty New York City comedy bits on YouTube that you can go ahead and enjoy. Which you should have already seen because you subscribed and you rang that bell, motherfuckers.
And
Ringing.
Let's
I'd like to remind everyone that it's pretty late, so everyone's going to sleep. Be a
This
bit
is the
quiet.
late
We're gonna
night
be,
Yeah,
edition.
we're gonna
we
try
gotta
and
be,
keep
we gotta be a bit quieter.
things nice and quiet. Let's do this properly. This is an intro. My name is Rye, aka Wrath, on Instagram. That's where you guys
I'm
introduce
Joel.
your. There you go.
I'm
AKA
Giles.
Mr. Bang. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's alright.
Can we
You do it. You do it. You do it.
Let's just all talk at
No,
once.
I don't want to be Mr. Burn. I guess I'm Mr. Burn.
Bone Mister.
I'm Mr. Burn.
I'm Giles, and I also have a page called Irreverend Giles.
And we all draw funny little bits all over the place on Instagram and other places, and you can find them.
I don't draw as much as the other guys.
Oh yeah, true.
Anyway, and this is a podcast where we just talk shit to each other for an hour.
Yep.
So bloody lock yourselves in.
Yeah, get
For-
comfy with a nice cup of whatever you want to fucking drink.
I'm sipping on a bloody pure blonde crisp apple cider, 60% less sugar, and I'll tell you what, it tastes
Oh, wow.
like a glass of water
Dude, that reminds me.
was passed by an apple truck.
I got some fucking strong mercuries and I just been singing in my backpack.
Oh, dude,
Dude, they're gonna taste nasty.
Bust them out.
I'll drink them. Bring them over next time you see me. I'll drink them.
They taste like syrup, but they're
I'm the
strong
king
as
of
fuck.
drinking nasty shit.
What's the nastiest drink you guys have ever drunk?
On a number of occasions, I've drank from a goon sack that is, like, quite old.
Joel's cracking something right now, I reckon.
Mercury hard cider.
I stand
Some
my
goon
back when
sacks
I sit
aren't
down.
horrendous. If you get
Sorry?
if you get a red goon sack, you're a laughing boy. You laugh all the way to
yeah.
the bank.
I'm not a red.
You've drunk goon from some pretty weird places too,
Oh.
including my belly button.
Yeah, that's true. We filled up Joel's belly button with red wine, and I drank out of it.
That's worth $2.
Yeah, but everyone wanted to play this fucking game at this party, and then no one participated.
Yeah.
Except for you drinking goon out of my belly button.
Was
Yeah.
that? There was more to the game, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be someone else who was supposed to drink goon. What, you were supposed to drink goon out of someone else's belly button, and then I was just like, fuck it. I'm not pussy. I'm not fucking pussy, cunt.
What did you do? So if Giles drunk out of your belly button, what was your contribution besides having? The
I was
belly button?
I had goon in my belly button, man. I was laying on the ground.
You still clearly came
I
out
was,
on
I
top.
was the giver of the goon. I was the cunt.
It's the
The
cup.
giver of the goon.
So yeah, I've drank some nasty shit before.
Yeah.
I
This has been
think
in my
probably
belly
the
button.
worst I can think of is a $28 bottle of whiskey that Giles bloody decided to buy. that we then subsequently drunk between the two of us in a 2-hour period as I was cooking up a big old bowl of tuna pasta each, which we then both ate and then both vomited back up, and then we passed out in my bed watching Tarantino films.
Oh yeah, I remember that night.
I do not remember that night. I still can't drink whiskey after that shit. That was a nightmare.
I have never been that fucked. I've never thrown up from drinking.
Whoa.
What? Seriously?
Whoa.
Yeah, I've been very close, but I've never thrown up from drinking.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I even like tried to make myself throw up once and I couldn't. I just hate throwing up, man.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not fun. It's a bad time.
But
I
that
disagree
reminds
with both of
me
you.
of another.
I've okay, so let's say
Yeah, tell us some enjoyable vomit stories.
okay. One weekend, it was 2 parties in the one weekend. So there was a number of times there were 2 parties in one weekend.
Mm.
Oh,
Ooh.
geez, so many stories. Let me get my mind.
Sorry.
Okay, so one of the worst nights ever. You were also there, Joel.
Is this what it waits?
Yeah.
Tell it. Set it up. Let's tell us.
Alright, so this was night 2 on the weekend. This is ages ago, not last weekend. So I got to the party. I didn't have any drinks with me, so I was like, okay, well, if people are offering, I'll have some. And the only way you could actually get a drink from anybody is if you did something really outrageous. So they said, yeah, well, all right, we'll give you a funnel, and we're gonna pour alcohol into the top of it,
Oh my god.
and you just keep drinking. And I was like, okay, whatever. So they start pouring beer into it. That's fine. Then one person grabs their Jaeger, starts pouring that into it. Another guy starts pouring Jack Daniels into it.
Oh Jesus.
And
How much did you drink?
I think I got alcohol poisoning that night. Not just from that, because they also decided to give me a super shot.
Uh-huh.
So this is a super shot is a full cup that is filled with 3 different types of spirits.
Oh my god.
So there was equal parts Jaeger, equal parts Jack Daniels.
I'd like to
parts vodka.
One point something out here is they
I haven't even.
they didn't decide to give you this. They offered to give you this.
This is all
You
free.
Fully made the decision. This is your doing.
Dude,
Yeah.
something even worse happened, but I'll explain it after this.
Oh yeah, there's more though. There's more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after I did that shot, which was a full cup of just 3 different spirits,
God damn.
I think we someone put on the mum spaghetti version of Eminem.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy Harrison shows up, says hi, comes over to me to say hi. I just start vomiting. It goes all over his pants, all over the floor. Everyone's like, all right, because I don't stop vomiting after that. I just keep going.
While he was throwing up, he was also like slowly shuffling backwards, so he was leaving this trail across the floor of the shed.
Jesus. And so they put me to bed because they were like, no, you're really fucked. So that's fine. I went to bed. Harley, our friend Joel and I. Oh yeah, man, we all went to school with Harley.
Yeah.
He drags me out of bed, says, "No, man, you gotta keep partying. You gotta keep partying." I was like, "All right." They sat me on a stool with a bucket, and I just sat there leaning over the bucket on the stool for like 40 minutes, and then I stand up, throw the bucket away, and start vomiting on the floor again.
Wow.
I was clearly I had alcohol poisoning that night. Absolutely.
And Wade's mum got so pissed off because she just fucking hosed it all out from you doing it the first time, and everyone was just like, "Why the fuck did you throw the bucket?" and you did the same thing where you like shuffled back.
Yeah. They made a dance move. They made a dance move out of it because I was shuffling backwards.
Oh, fuck?
I honestly have so many stories, but I don't think we should keep going on about.
No, we'll save them for more
Stories.
podcasts. So you gotta spread
Boy.
that out. Oh shit.
Oh,
All right, Ray. Worst
Fuck.
spew.
I feel fucking. I don't,
that was a good spew story.
I haven't really got much like that, except for I guess my birthday. I think it was my 21st, and I didn't plan anything. So I and then I just heard some people were going to the Shore Davy slums, which is near the Melbourne Uni in
Oh yeah, I know the short
Melbourne.
baby. Yeah.
and they do $2 pots of beer on a particular night, and that was that night. And people, there was only a few of us. There was probably like 6 of us there. And anyway, they kept buying me beers, cheap, shitty beer for $2, and so I drank a shitload of that, having a good time. There was no one there though; like it was just our little party, and then there was a couple of other groups of guys. There was no girls; it was just like all guys dancing to this one DJ who was pretty rubbish. Anyway, but
Yeah,
I
I've
was
been to the shore, Davy. That sounds about right.
yeah. Shout out to Shore Davy for being a garbage bar. Anyway, all that happened was I was feeling pretty good, having a good bloody time by myself. And then I was dancing on the dance floor, on the old D floor, and I thought I was gonna have a little vom. So I was like, cool. I'm aware that it's happening, it's coming. I'm gonna go to the toilet, sort this mess out. But as soon as I step off the dance floor, I start projectile vomiting, and so I'm now half stumbling, half running down the corridor, projectile vomiting on the wall. So there's a line of vomit going down the wall. I hold it in for a second as I come around the corner, and I open the door of the bathroom just as somebody else opens it from the other side to leave, and I again projectile vomit all over the door, narrowly missing this guy who stepped back and goes, "Oh fuck!" And this is a Tuesday night, by the way. And this is also at like 10 o'clock.
I can imagine in slow motion, just being like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my god!
And then I go to the toilet, kind of clean myself up. Didn't clean up the vomit that I had sprayed halfway down their premises. Go to the bar and say, "Hey, this is what just happened. Can I have a tea towel so I can clean it up?" And they kicked me out instead of making me clean it, which was fun, which was good for me. Then I go and pass out on the curb, and Nikki has to try and get me into an Uber. I get into an Uber, I pass out again. I then find myself outside of the Uber, half a block away, thinking we've gone home. And then I look around, half dazed. Somebody asks us if we have any cocaine, strangely. I then look over, and there's the Shore Davy slum, half a block away. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And Nikki says, "Oh, you just got kicked out of the first Uber."
My god!
We get into a second Uber, and on the way home, I vomit again, but she sees it coming. She sees me about to do it, and so she smacks her hand over my mouth, and I vomit into her mouth and then back into my mouth, into her hand, back into my mouth. She holds it in, and the Uber driver goes, "Well, what the fuck's going on back there? You guys all right?" And Nikki's like, "Yeah, it's fine, because she knows that we're gonna get slapped with $100 fee if I vomit on the seat." And then anyway, we got home, and that's it. That was a good night.
Man.
And I got kicked out of that bar, but I went back to that bar like 2 nights later.
Did they recognize you?
They did not.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, that's my spewing story.
That's fucked.
Mad props to Nikki for doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Good on her.
She's been pretty messy before, and I've had to deal with her bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have any drunk stories. I shit myself once though.
Well, it seems to be the theme of the night. Tell your story, boy.
We need like a campfire sound effect or something. Let's pretend we're around a campfire, guys.
Alright, while we get that going, I'll explain
Yeah, I'll sort something.
my spooky story
Alright.
around the campfire.
Is this a spooky story where you shit yourself?
Can you get some bats going? Yeah, fucking
Some
hell,
bats.
man.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, get a
super
bat
keen.
sound.
I will
And maybe
do
maybe a lightning noise too.
I'm gonna do my best. This is stuff we do before the podcast. You start telling your story, I'll try and find some sound effects.
Alright. So, one day, when I was with my ex-girlfriend at her mum's house in Werribee.
This is off to a pretty bad start.
And this was not long after I had found out I had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Spoiler alert for anyone.
Ha! MS. Ooh, bad. Dun, dun.
Just in case you didn't know, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's not good.
bad. Fuck it. Alright, anyway, getting to the
True
story.
trooper.
Getting back to it. No distractions now. I was playing World of Warcraft on my laptop in the
Nice.
lounge room on the couch. Who was sitting next to me? Fuck, I shouldn't cut that out. We can't say her name. My ex was sitting next to me. Whoa, what am I saying? Oh shit, I'm still here. Okay. And I was like, okay, I gotta go pee. Stand up. What's this? I think there's shit in my pants. So what do I do next? I
Push.
walk to the toilet.
Okay.
I walk to the toilet. Pull down my pants. Yep, there's shit. There's a lot of shit. What do? Take my undies off. Take them right off.
Yeah.
Kind of hold them so the shit don't get anywhere.
Yeah, I getcha.
Put the trackies back on, which kind of have a bit of poop in them.
Yeah.
And throw my undies in the bin. And then I take my trackies off and go have a shower.
Nice.
And that was pretty much that's pretty much it. Really. Yeah, and I just told Max, I was just like, alright, I gotta be honest with you, I just shit myself. And then she couldn't stop laughing, and then we washed the trackies, but I ended up throwing them out anyway, because I was just like, I don't want shit trackies.
How did you...
Every time I wear they were like these green khaki, like green trackies too, so they had this like, I don't know, it's just like, yeah, but they look like pants I've shut myself in now every time I wear them for some reason.
I got some tracksuit pants that I accidentally shat in once.
Dude, yeah, it's just tracksuit pants, man. Everyone's shit themselves. If you're gonna shit yourself, it's probably when you're wearing crack pants.
Since this is already a super embarrassing podcast, I've got a
It's
story.
spooky
of shitting
stories,
myself.
man. These are scary.
Yeah.
Scary
Spooky.
time.
This is late.
Being-
Oh, right,
Coprolalia.
right. I remember telling you this story.
Cool.
I
Let's hear it.
for a little while, just after my mother kicked me out of home.
Mhm.
I ended. I was. I was living in my friend's shed for a little while, and his partner used to scare me a lot. If I didn't want to wake her up because it was quite late at night, and the toilet was inside the house. And I knew that if I opened the back door, the dogs were gonna bark. I was gonna wake people, and she was gonna yell at me. So I was freaked out. I was like, nah, not doing it. I decided that it was close enough to run to the public toilets in the park nearby, in the botanical gardens. I was like, you know what? I can make it to the botanical gardens. I don't know what I don't know what I'd ate, but it was painful. I was experiencing pain holding it in, and I've never experienced that since. But so I was running. I was it was clearly hurting me, and it got to the point where I was running across the train tracks that were just near the park. I was almost there. I could see the toilets, but I just crossed that threshold, and it all gets released. It just released. It's like you can't even re-clench. You can't even re-clench once it was released. It was like,
That would have
okay,
felt
that's it.
fucked.
Oh
So-
my god.
Just covered my legs. And I was running too, so it was just rubbing all over my legs, and I was like,
Oh,
God,
dude.
I just kept on running, kept jogging.
I hope no one's got a big bowl of pasta that they're trying to chow on when they're bloody dinner time.
Yeah, sorry
music.
guys.
yeah. Hey,
So,
we just yeah, go on.
So I
We're just talking life.
I made it to the bathrooms, like cleaned as much as I could, but the fucking pants were soaked, man.
Oh, jeez.
I think I can't remember what I did. I didn't throw those tracksuit pants out though. I just washed them really thoroughly. Like I think I put them through the machine twice.
Nice.
And I think I just hosed myself off and just changed.
If anyone has any good shitting themselves stories or puking stories, they throw them down in the comments below.
Yeah,
This is
send them in
Coprolalia
and we
after
can read
all.
them out.
Maybe this might be what this podcast is about to turn into. This might be stories of shitting yourself. .com.
Stories of things that have happened. Like next time we can talk about how Giles got bashed in America.
Yeah.
And times
Yeah.
we've been bashed before.
Yeah. God damn it.
I reckon we'll spread it out. Can't use all our good content. All of Giles'
Yeah,
good bloody
true. We
content.
can't just.
The Adventures of Giles.
Giles,
Yeah,
you
my
should have
first
been
time overseas.
you should have been hosting a podcast like for the last 10 years. Every week there's new content from you.
And those party stories would have been fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I've got another. No more vomit stories.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
Vomit or
Yeah.
shit stories.
That's a fair that's a fair bit. We've we've filled 20 minutes worth of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
We've just talked. Oh, Joyce.
Jesus. What else we got in
How
this
about-
thing?
We can talk about something a bit more serious.
Yeah, let's get serious. Chads. How are we stopping them?
Chad.
Chads.
Fucking Chads.
Can you boys explain to me a bit further? I've actually been I've been watching a little bit of stuff about dating what do you call it? Seduction artists and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Which
Pickup
is all
artists.
totally completely fucked. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically teaching men how to completely cripple women emotionally so they can sleep with them.
That's a spooky story.
That's
Mm.
yeah. First, you make sure they have no self-worth, and then you can kind of do what you want with them. It's fucked. It's a whole fucking mess of a part of a sect of society. But explain to me what a Chad is, because this is a big part about all this incels and dating bros and all this kind of shit. But I don't know all the terminology. What's a Chad?
Alright, so a Chad, I reckon you could call a Chad basically the guy who acts alpha, the guy who has the status because he's like tall and physically fit, and I reckon you could also say that there's like a racial aspect of it too. That like a Chad is like a very white person, I'd say as well.
Yeah.
I think the archetype was created so that people who weren't popular or were sort of strange just like had a face to the enemy.
Yeah. This seems to be the running theme with all of this stuff. Incels, fucking seduction artists and all this shit is, basically they having a rough time and they just need to blame somebody else for it, for their own shortcomings. And also, believing that luck has nothing to do with it. That's one thing that struck me as strange. Oh, not strange. I understand it. Everyone wants to make sense of what's happening around them, but
Everybody wants to fuck.
well, they don't. Apparently, it seems like they don't even enjoy sex, and they get it. Can't fucking imagine why. Probably because they're fucking what used to be a human being that they've now destroyed. But basically saying, yeah, like even like these people who either hate women or just have no respect for women, have clearly just only dealt with shit women in their lives, and so that they credit that to just all women are exactly the same and all men are exactly the same. It's like if you just believe in a little bit of luck and a little bit of chaos theory, then you just might be unlucky. You just met lots of shitty people, and then if you actually go out there and continue to be optimistic. You'll find plenty of amazing, strong individuals.
I think it goes two ways too. I think, like, have you seen those tweets? There's a couple of tweets that get memed really hard. Like, there's one where it's a girl saying, guys only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And like the reason that's memed is because it's like an inherently sexist thing to say. However, it's a pretty supported like archetype.
Yeah.
I think people think that it's natural to say that like men are, bigoted and sex obsessed.
Yeah, totally.
But that's a stereotype, and also it's a sexist statement, really.
Just quickly, Joel sent us a hilarious image, and I'll throw it up on the screen now for anybody listening. Well, that's just like anyone who's in the privilege or power will like, because you can make fun of white people and you can say white people are scum. You can say all white people are evil. But if you say anything about all black people or all blah 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 blah, then that's instantly called out. But you can say what you want about white guys, which is obviously just bullshit. Anyway,
I feel like there's a thing starting to become like it's just becoming a thing like that. If you're a guy, you hate girls, and if you're a girl, you hate guys. There's like extremely misogynistic people, and then there's extremely feminist people, and they're just like in this like one does something real bad, and then the other one retaliates kind of thing, and they're still trying to fucking like yeah. And extremists fucking ruin everything.
well, that's the thing. We're only talking about extremists here. Both like all the incels and the fucking and like extreme feminists and whatever. These people represent such a tiny, small part of the
vocal
human
minority.
Race. I reckon even a lot of the members who would be in the forums and we'd be having these discussions probably don't even share the same kind of energy and hatred behind what they're saying, but they're just part of a group and it's just easier to run along with it. But those few, I guess, frankly, potentially actually evil human beings have taken any cause or any ideology that they can get their hands on. They've used it to their own benefits, and but that's what you hear because it's better. It's better news. It's better, more clickbait and
yeah.
But I think
going from that.
Yep.
Oh, you go, Giles.
I think it's easy to believe something that also puts you in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
So say you've had a terrible experience with a member of the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly simple to then be told by someone, oh yeah, it's a huge issue that all of them have.
Yeah.
And like if you join or like become friends with us, we can help you stop this thing or yeah,
we'll make you accepted.
It's extremely popular to be the victim, as you said, and being a victim gives you power at the moment.
Yeah. Just to make sure we don't straw man, let's also admit that we can only really speak from our own perspective, and that is that we are not women.
So
we haven't.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. My audio is all glitching out. I'm just gonna check if it's recording that glitch, and then we'll return it in just 1 second. Sorry.
So I think we should admit that we can only see things from the perspective of a male in Australia. So we're not quite aware of what it's like to be sexually assaulted by a male.
Mm-hmm.
And
we were trying to go into a different story, but we felt like we talked for it too long, so we cut it off. I just want to be honest.
However, I've had some pretty uncomfortable experiences with women. So not everyone is completely guilt-free, I believe.
A girl did actually hit me once.
Oh
But-
wow.
Another time. Wait, I can talk about it when you talk about when you get bashed.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do a violence episode.
Alright, sweet. I want to go on the record and say probably the strongest person I've ever met is a bloody woman. So there you go. There's some, there's,
I would agree with that too.
So there, we can't we can't be sexists now. We've saved ourselves. All right, it's too late in the bloody day, boys. Let's talk about something a little bit else.
What do you mean in the day? It's not time.
All right, let's talk
bloody
about
evening.
dreams since it's the late night episode.
Yeah, so hang on,
I had
I'll
a
play
dream
some. I'll
last
play
night.
some bloody.
Oh yeah,
dream
tell us
music.
about your dream,
I
Joel.
love Joel.
Well,
yeah.
The world
Wait,
ended.
no, that's not it. Here we go. Oh, listen to that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bye-bye.
That's
The world
dream
ended.
music right there.
Welcome.
I had a nightmare though. It's pretty spooky.
Welcome to Joel's nightmare.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Go. Tell the story.
Well, it was very sudden, out of nowhere. Suddenly, it was just like, whoa, the world's gonna end. This planet's like coming really close by, but it's not gonna hit us. It's just going really close.
Mhm.
But it was so close to us, it slightly changed our orbit around the sun.
Wow.
So we were more in oval-shaped orbit or something like that.
Yep.
And it was either we were gonna get too close to the sun and burn up, or another planet would hit us, and we're all gonna
Interesting.
we were just all gonna die. And there's nothing.
This is a
we could
really
do.
good plot for a sci-fi movie.
And yeah, I just had a very horrible time, just being like, I'm gonna die, and I woke up and I was like, oh,
Have you heard of the movie Melancholia?
no.
It's Melancholia is a movie by Lars von Trier that's all about depression, and the main character foresees the Earth being crashed into by a planet, and the movie's about that essentially. Everyone trying to figure out what they're gonna do because they can't stop this planet from crashing into theirs.
Yeah,
So I recommend checking that out.
I don't watch that movie. I have nightmares about that shit, like, you know.
Well, it's a pretty Lars von Trier is a pretty fucked up director.
I think
Yeah.
he's potentially just a fucked up human being.
I feel like I'd watch it and I'd just be like, well, I got a bit of anxiety now. I know how depressing it's gonna be if the world was actually ending. Cool.
And the whole beginning of the movie is just her incredibly depressed, and you won't like it. I don't like his movies. I think they're
True.
excellent, but I don't like them.
I didn't enjoy Serbian film. Is it kind of like that?
Well,
It was sad. It was extremely sad.
it's allegorical in
Yeah.
the same way that Serbian film is.
It's just a shit movie. It's a good movie, but it's
Yeah,
shit.
that's a movie for edgelords. I think they're being really deep.
No. It was actually like kind of sad. This guy just gets into the porn industry, and then they drug him and force him to go down this path where they film him doing more fucked up shit.
Yeah,
eventually, where it
edgy-
leads
it's
to
edgy-
him
ed-
killing his family.
Edgy crap.
Yeah. But a lot of people talk about it because it's just like, yeah, you fucked a baby in the movie, and it's like it's
Yeah.
heavily insinuated that they do it, but you don't see it.
Yeah. It's an allegory for the way that the Serbian government is treating its people, apparently.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
just a movie. I didn't see it that way. I just thought it was just like, oh, this guy
It's
got
because
into like
it's
something
because
wrong.
It's not especially that deep. It's very surface level.
If you're gonna
fuck things.
If you're
Okay,
gonna pull some shit like that, like
Whoa.
if you're gonna use fucked up imagery just to make like a political statement or make any kind of statement at all, to be super vague or super what's the bloody word I'm trying to use? I'm trying to think of. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you need to really be direct. You need to really say your point. You need to be really obvious to the people watching.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just looks like you're as you said, Giles, just being a fucking edgelord, using this imagery just to
Yeah.
grab people's attention. It's like if you're not
Yeah.
if you're not really saying something straight to the point, then you're just being an
You
edgelord.
haven't
You're just
said
being a
anything,
fucking idiot.
Yeah, because people like me watch it and then they just go, "Whoa, that was real sad." But if it's just a movie for I don't know, politics, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was something. I thought it was something different.
A good example of this is the movie 120 Days of Sodom. Oh, Sodom, sorry. It's called Sallow or 120 Days of Sodom, and it was banned in Australia originally because, like it's just it's it's about a group of political people and like religious people, just like trapping a whole bunch of people on an island and using them for sex stuff and like other kinds of torture. And it was banned in Australia, banned in other countries too. But the director said it was all an allegory for like the Italian fascist government. Once
Right.
again, making the the defense that it's all about some political message they wanted to send. And so a lot of people were arguing it has no artistic merit, and there's a whole other side of people who are going, no, it's clearly like a very clever message. And so Australia allowed an edited version of it to be released.
Yeah.
That's all you can view in Australia. No, wait. Let me correct that. Sorry, I'll correct that. Sorry. Apparently, the edited version made it look more graphic because it left out the allegorical stuff.
Oh right.
So you have to view the unedited, like full theatrical release.
Yep.
Or else it is counted as just basically degeneracy.
I think a lot of people forget, and I'm not like particularly I'm not like a master at any of this shit either. But if you're really trying to say something with your music, if you're trying to explore a theme or explore an idea and communicate a message to people, communication is the one skill you have to have. You can't fuck that up. And I see this a lot. This is kind of jumping around a little bit, but it's like seeing really avant-garde visual art or music or whatever that just it doesn't really, to the untrained ear or eye or just to the average listener, it makes zero sense in terms of the message. Like you can just hear it or see it as a piece of art, but then they say, oh, but it actually means this, and I'm really trying to draw attention to this issue right now. So I'm trying to think of an example. So like, it doesn't matter, but you get what I'm saying. But my issue with that is that if you are actually really trying to make a political statement or trying to make a social statement or anything like that, you actually need to use these communication skills. You need to use imagery and words and sounds and all kinds of things that actually relate to something in the physical world. Outside. Like, if you have to explain it all, well, that's fine. But to expect the audience to get this message, to expect them to be like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is crazy, I can't believe they're talking about all this in this such a strange way. It's really just about being honest about what you're doing, I guess. But it's like people,
believe it or not. Sorry.
Oh, you say your thing.
Believe it or not, Lars von Trier does actually do a very good job of that.
Oh, for sure.
There's a movie called Dogville. Did I watch that with you, Ryan?
Yeah, we watched Dogville.
Yeah, so Dogville it hits home. It gets you to feel exactly what the director wants you to feel.
Yeah.
And then he is clearly relating the emotional situation of the plot of that movie to the grander picture.
Yeah.
And so yes, but he does actually communicate. He does actually use real physical imagery and scenarios that have like a relationship philosophically to the larger subject matter.
Generally speaking, his more graphic imagery, his more what could easily transverse into edgelord imagery,
Where
is
is it?
usually quite well used because you clearly understand while watching the films what he's talking about while he's showing you this imagery.
Except for Antichrist.
Antichrist is a bit all over the shop, but there's still pretty obvious hints to what he's trying to say, I think.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to hide messages deeper, so because people like going on treasure hunts with art anyway, so that's also fine. But let's compare it to. So I've gone to a lot of like avant-garde new music type stuff where it's all very textural and atmospheric kind of sounds, which is and all very, very experimental, which is not inherently bad in itself at all, and it's very exciting, and you find a lot of new sounds and a lot of new ideas in this kind of area. However, my issue with that is when they do say like, oh, like this particular piece is talking about cancer or talking about the effects of the current political climate and how we're interacting with each other. I'm like, fucking how? How is it doing that? No, what you wrote is doing that. What your interpretation of that is doing that. But just saying that the piece is doing that by itself is a bit of a stretch, I think, to the general audience. And sure, I'm not in that world, so maybe I'm not clued in, but I still feel like it's... If you're trying to make a big giant point like that, then you kind of do need to use the language that we have developed as a race to communicate with each other.
Yeah, and I want to relate it to the way that a lot of like philosophy literature works. Mm-hmm. If you're using words that only other philosophy students understand, you're actually not communicating anything to the general public.
Totally.
And you want the layman to understand what you're saying. If you think you've figured something out, it's like almost your duty to be able to explain it to a child.
This is why...
Yeah.
That's a quote from Einstein.
That's why I don't fucking understand these fucking things.
But okay, here's an example then. So there's the super experimental side of things where you use if you are using words, you're being very cryptic, you're not being very straightforward, you're being very artsy fartsy, blah blah blah. But there's lots of pop icons who tackle really heavy topics, but do it in a way that everybody can understand their point, and I think that's usually why they're at the top. They're the pop stars, and people will kind of discredit them because I don't know why people have this idea that all people in that certain level of popularity are not as intelligent as the other ones who are being really cryptic. Like being cryptic for some reason makes you smarter, but I think it's the other way around. If you can communicate such a intense message in really layman's terms, as you said. I think that shows a great deal of intelligence, and a couple of people who come to mind is, at his best, Kanye West, but at his worst, absolutely not. Much better example is John Lennon.
Whoopie dee scoop, scoopty dee whoop, whoop dee scoop dee poop, poop dee.
Now, if you read into that, he's talking about how Trump is trying to butt fuck Mexicans out of the country. Now, John Lennon, though, is a really good example of someone who takes really powerful concepts at the time. In fact, in that entire time period, a lot of the pop music was really centered around these new philosophical ideas that were trying to change the society that they lived in, but they communicated them in a very straightforward way.
Whoopie doo scoop.
Also, there are examples of like... There are examples where people will sing the lines of a song.
Easy now.
Sorry. But the words are actually saying... Sorry, I just choked on a seed.
Wow.
Where the words are saying something like messed up or like sad, but people are just happily singing along to it because they actually haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, the song Hey Ya is all about how people are failing to actually have lasting relationships with one another.
Yeah.
And like, but I've seen so many people just naively dancing around, just thinking about it.
Well,
Because I fucking tell you, dude. I'm the guy that asks you about these things. I don't listen to a lot of things, you know.
Well, you can do that. You're entitled to not break down your environment.
Yeah.
I do it by choice, I believe. I want to look under the surface of things.
With those songs, though, anyone can look into it. There's no barrier of entry. There's no point. Like, you don't have to do research. You don't have to know the language. You don't have to do anything like that. You just stop for a second. You stop dancing to Hey Ya. You actually read the lyrics on Genius.com, not a sponsor.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, yeah, cool. I get it now. That's depressing. But if you wanna fucking analyze, I can't think of any bloody examples of really cryptic music at the moment. Here's actually a good example. I've got a really good example. If you've got one though, you can do yours first.
All right. There's a song by Joni Mitchell, "Case of You," which is like this it's a really lovely song.
Yep.
And one of my older sisters had it played at her wedding, and I actually sort of sat down because I really like the song too. I sat down and really listened to it.
Yep.
And the lyrics are, I could drink a case of you and I'd still be on my feet.
I love that song so fucking much.
And so it's like, yeah, I could drink you forever essentially. It's like trying to say something really lovely. And I would still want more.
Yep.
But it's what it's really saying is, you aren't intoxicating. I could drink a case of you and I would still be on my feet, meaning it's not intoxicating enough to actually knock me out. Yeah,
right.
And the rest of the lyrics reflect that. It's actually it's a relationship where he's not able to actually commit or say anything meaningful.
In that particular case, with songs like that, or with any art, there's also another element though of like what it means to you. Not because of the lyrics, but like perhaps where you heard it. Like there's a couple of White Stripes songs that are really, really dark. But I heard it at a time when I was more of a hopeless romantic when I was younger, and so they conjure up images of love. But when I read into the lyrics, I'm like, oh well, that didn't mean what I thought it meant. But okay, but it's still, whenever I hear that song, I can't shake the images that I had in my head. Yeah. It's different, I guess, perhaps at a wedding, but whatever. You could probably kind of tee it up to that to say like, yeah, it depends on how the person who played the song was intending it for it to come across.
Totally, and I think everyone at the wedding felt like, oh, this is really lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice song anyway. Just sonically and aesthetically, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's a bit of a different example. Is the new Umo record? Unlistenable Orchestra. What's the new?
I think it's called Sex and Food.
Yes, it is. It's called Sex and Food. Now, just as Umo has always had in the past, it's fucking impossible to understand what the fuck he's saying. But it's even worse in this album.
I don't really agree with that. I think you can understand his other shit.
Okay, well, yes, I definitely think it's gotten worse. I still always struggled a little bit, but this one's particularly bad in how much distortion and how much his voice is fucked with. But the messages on the songs are really political. He's being real and not like dancing around the subjects either. Like if you read into the lyrics, they're super straightforward. And you're totally allowed to do this. I'm not saying this makes the album worse or anything like that. But listening to it, I was like, yeah. When I actually read the lyrics, like, oh, he's really trying to say something. He didn't get that message across in the music though. If you just listen to the album, there's no fucking way you're gonna understand what the fuck he's talking about because you can't hear the lyrics. Is there a point then? Like, do you go, why did you write these lyrics if you weren't gonna sing them so we can hear them?
Maybe so that people can do folk covers where they actually dictate their words.
Yeah, maybe. Well, as I said before, people enjoy the treasure hunt aspect to music.
Yeah.
And aesthetically, again, that album is really beautiful and fun, so I still like it a lot. But
Yeah.
lyrically,
I think
would probably
American Guilt's really interesting.
yeah, this fucking banger of a riff. Tell you that right now.
Bum, 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 bum. Is that the right one?
I don't know. That's A1. That's for sure. There's a topic here that I just wanted to shout out because I saw it. I read the headline the other day, and Joel will chime in here quite
Oh
strongly.
yeah, Joel, you ready?
Huh?
You ready to tell the story?
Pill testing. Talk about it.
Ah. They finally fucking did pill testing in Australia, and they saved people's lives, possibly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it's good.
It's fucking fantastic.
So, like, we're gonna see how the politics go from here.
It's
Do you reckon-
insane to me
Do you reckon
that. Yeah, go.
Do you reckon there's a possibility that, like, once you've started pill testing at festivals, you've also got police then going up to you and going, okay, you clearly have pills?
No.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen, but...
They can't really search you for no reason. Like, they gotta have a reason to come up to you, so...
Well, the reason being that you just got pills tested.
Yeah.
Well, others, I don't know, they're not gonna just stand around and be like, oh, all these people are coming in and getting their drugs tested, I better fine and send them all to get, whatever.
I guess they technically could, but we just have to hope that humans have some sort of decency towards each other. It's just amazing something like that can so clearly work in so many field testing situations. Like, it's actually been tested in real situations. They've gone to festivals, they've tested the pills, they've saved people's lives, and there's still political barriers saying, well, we're not so sure about this. This all seems a bit fishy to me.
Well, they don't want it, because I think it will encourage drug use.
They should go to a festival and see how fucking rampant it is. It's not going to fucking change shit.
Dude.
Joel, do you think that MDMA should be legal? That's your gaff sound.
I like it because it makes me feel so naughty.
You should do ad reads for different illicit substances.
It's
Or
like,
even just
yeah, I love
butter.
this because it makes me feel naughty.
Yeah.
I love butter. It makes me feel so naughty.
Eating butter makes me feel so
You
naughty.
sound like
Mm.
you sound like just a dirty Swedish man.
I also love to party, but you know what I love better? Butter, because it makes me feel so naughty.
I like churning the butter straight from the cow. Gets it all nice and warm, and it makes me feel so good all over my Swedish body. I obviously can't do a Swedish accent, but
Swedish buttery body.
my blonde hair flows across my Swedish buttery body.
My sweat. My sweat smells like the flowers that grow on top of Mount Everest.
It's to the point now
And
where I
you
just
know
sweat
what?
butter.
No flowers
I'm
grow up
almost
there, so I
certain-
smell like
yeah.
nothing. Ain't that funny?
Swedish count.
Can you? Is this technically racism?
No, because we are
Potentially.
white, too.
I think I have some sort of like Nordic heritage. to be honest.
Everyone fucking asks me if I'm Swedish or something, if I don't know them. There's normally really gacked people that do this, to be honest, too.
Dude, it's actually
Just like, where are you
it's
from?
really
Just like,
possible,
I'm
man.
Australian.
It's really
Nah,
possible
dude, I've
you've
got,
got,
I've got a Scottish background.
Yeah, well, that's almost Nordic.
Yeah, well, it could be that deep, but I've got Scottish in me. That's why I have MS. It's true.
What? Explain.
Damn.
Yeah,
Explain
if you're
yourself.
a ginger or you're Scottish, you're gonna have a higher chance of getting MS.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, it's true. That's what my doctor told me, and she had MS too. It was really cool talking to her.
Huh. Nice little bonding session.
Yeah.
Does she smoke marijuana?
Nah, I don't know that much, mate.
That'd be great
Okay.
if you could actually sign a thing saying when you get a particular disease, like you go to a doctor who also has the disease.
Well, I think it's very rare for a doctor to also have a disease and, you know, be
Yeah,
working.
you-
A lot of these diseases
lucky.
are debilitating. She only worked Fridays, so
Yeah, right.
and it was just by chance that there's a doctor at the clinic I go to who also had MS, which is cool.
I wish I had a doctor who also had chronic migraines. I feel like somebody would fucking understand.
Bugger.
Yeah, it's just when people don't understand, it's so fucking frustrating. It's like, oh my
So-
god.
Yeah.
We've both got nervous disorders, and we also have both have shut our pants while wearing tracksuit pants.
Yeah, and we're both blonde hair and blue eyed.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, shit. Well, I've got that one, but I haven't shut my
think
pants, and I
I've al-
haven't got a
Oh yeah,
nervous system disease.
Right. Rye's got blonde hair and blue eyes too. This is really funny. We're like a
Welcome back to the
Aryan
Nazi
podcast
podcast,
right now.
where we're straight up Nazis.
I'm actually wearing those boots that Duncan gave me, Giles. So
Oh, the Polish stompers.
the Austrian
Polish
World War II Austrian paratrooper boots.
Oh my god. Classic
Yeah.
Duncan. All right, boys.
They
I reckon
actually have feet, the footprint of other soldiers in
they
the
still
sole.
had feet in them.
Well, they're military surplus, so they're just like it's just shit left over from the war, I guess.
Oh wow, this is wow. I think I already knew that.
I don't know where these boots have been. They had a big gash in the front of them when I got them, so I don't know what the fuck happened there.
He could have just fallen down some stairs.
Stomping
and-
vampires or something, maybe. got bit on the boot.
Bit on the boot.
All right, let's do letters.
Yeah, we're coming
Yeah.
close to the end, so we're gonna do some letters, and then we can talk about what we're doing with our lives and. Salutations,
By the way-
friends. Go what?
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, we're
No,
reading
you
letters now. Salutations, friends. I have an inquiry into the nature of your program as a long-time listener. Spilt listener wrong. Listener. I oft find myself enjoying your podcast whilst yeah, maybe that is spelled right. Whilst in the action of bathing myself, and ponder if these gentlemen are educated in the matters of Bill Cosby. I saw that he went to jail recently. Or, no, he didn't go to jail. He's being convicted. Anyway. Stand-up comedian and author of the sublime Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. It has somehow escaped your notice, whether because you are indifferent on the matter or simply unwilling to tune into the truly inspired drivel that passes for journalism as of late. In agreement there. Recent times, it has become something of a trend to implicit Master Cosby acts of an uncouth and sexual... I'm bad at reading. Recent times has become something of a trend to implicate Master Cosby in acts of uncouth and sexual nature. What are your comments on these spurious accusations? Oh, fuck off, mate. Okay. I figured that he was going to defend Cosby, but yeah. Yours sincerely, Nignog the Hedgehog. God damn it. P.S. Sometimes when I ruminate on the call of the red-eyed cicada, I find myself reminded of this podcast and its host.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
just
what that...
blue screened and lost all my audio.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Ah, so you lost your recording.
It's not recording because I lost it. I was recording and then it blue screened, so.
All right. We'll hope.
We're gonna skip that because all our audio is still good.
Yeah, but it's also a giant pain in the ass to mix yours in with Joel's if he's recorded through Discord. This is not for the podcast. This is if anyone's listening, this is why the audio is not as good this time. Blame Microsoft.
Fuck.
All good. No dramas. I have fuck, this is-
Wait. Yes. Recover projects.
Tell me it's there, baby.
Recover it and hit record again, and just we'll keep going.
If Cosby got convicted, if the justice system did its job, then I'm gonna go ahead and trust the justice system, because fuck it.
Yeah, he's going down. I hope he does. I think it'll be a win for everybody.
It's good to end on a high note. This has been Coprolalia, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Any last words,
Join it.
guys? Want to say anything?
Join us next week where we get even better.
And join us probably 20 episodes further along after that, and we'll I have some products on Society 6 now if you want to buy them.
Wow.
So you can do that. So goodbye from me.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck my life.
Whoopie doo
I need to shit really badly, so I'm gonna be right back.